watched Tennessee is a little bit familiar with Heupel, what you guys faced previously.
Oh, for sure. Coach Heupel's a tremendous offensive coordinator and obviously head coach too. But he runs a tremendous offense. It's challenging. Every time we've played him, it's been a challenge, and I look forward to this one being just as challenging.
How nice is it that you have some veteran guys who have experienced that 2019 game, especially guys like Damari?
Sure. Oh, it makes a difference. They're a very fast tempo offense, and you really don't know how fast it really is until you actually are in the game. And actually, it's funny, Damari and I were both talking about that earlier. The biggest challenge is the young guys just can't visualize what they're getting into, and so we do our best to explain it, and then they have to go out and live it.
Does that also go for a 6'5" quarterback that can do some of the things that Milton can do?
Yes, and he can throw the ball, I think, 70 yards on flat-footed, so he's got a tremendous arm. He's going to be a challenge. He's great size, great athlete, and throws the rope. So good player.
Were there things when you look back at the film against UMass, like, man, if this quarterback was playing like Milton, this would have hurt us, that you've noted to your guys maybe
Hundreds
in the second
of things. Even though it was the first game and we won big, we have a lot of improvement. And they say you improve 3% or more after your first game, and I expect more than that. We're going to need to. They're a good team.
What did you see out of Brandon and Eric and even Rashad getting in there and safety really for the first time game action right there?
Well, it really wasn't their first game, Tom. They've all started games. The thing is, they aren't the starter until this year. You just never know until the lights go on and they are the starter, what kind of leaders they are. And I think that's probably the thing that, I saw the most. I believe they both started in Florida State, and really, Hill started the rest of the season. And Eric Hallett's started games for 2 years. So I expected them to play like veterans, and they did.
I guess more with Rashad.
With Battle?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. With Battle, I would say the thing Battle did was really get his first dip in the water, if you will, with his feet. There were a couple times that he's like, wow, that came at me faster than I thought. And I think he learned from it. He's a smart player. And I think there won't be anybody make more strides than Rashad Battle after his first game, for sure.
There's no one more veteran than Patrician. What did you think of his?
John played really well. Made a lot of plays. Played with maturity, which you would expect, but also played like he started for years. And so, he's a valuable part of our defense, for sure.
How much does getting them into uncomfortable down and distances break up their tempo?
Well, I don't know if it always breaks up their tempo, but it's harder in longer yard situations to just go out and just run a play, instead of the perfect play to gain the yards you need. So I would say that at times that will do it. I look at their offense similar to a wishbone offense. You got to get them off schedule, and if they're on schedule, they're just like a wishbone team. It's hard to stop them. They're like a roaring river running down the hill. You can't stop it. So you got to keep it from getting to the point where it's roaring, if you will.
You guys rotate a lot of players
Yes.
on defense. How are you guys preparing for maybe them just trying to stop that by using that up tempo and keeping the same guys on the field, and maybe that disrupting kind of the flow of aggression that you guys like to have?
Sure.
With fresh
Well,
legs?
I think the thing is, their guys get tired too, and so at some point, if they sub, we'll sub. We'll sub some guys in fast, and quite frankly, if you keep them 3 and out, you don't have to worry about it. So that's my job.
What did you think of Kalijah's performance on Saturday?
Kalijah Cansey, I think, has played to every bit of the expectations I had. He was our player of the game, so at least to what I expected, if that makes sense.
What do you need to see more out of your younger defensive ends? Because you got a lot of sacks, but they weren't as contributing in that. Pat said that they were thinking a little too much in the game.
Sure. Well, I think you also, the fact that we had at least 5 or 6 what I would have considered tackles for loss that were less than a yard. So it's behind the line of scrimmage, but it's not a tackle for loss. How about that for an offensive stat? But unfortunately, if it's 10.5 on second down, it's 10. So I don't know if you realize that or not, but even the first play of the game, if you go watch it in the scoreboard, I think it says 2nd and 11. but in the drive chart, it's 2nd and 10. So, but I think the guys played very well, and I expect them to play better.
Randy, when they're playing that tempo, how key is communication, and how do you prepare to make sure guys are on the same page when you only have a couple seconds between plays?
Well, we get it from our offense, so it's something that we have seen before. It's just a matter of being precise and being quick with your calls. And fortunately, it's not the first game of the year, so we've ironed out some of those bugs.
Do you feel good though about the communication defensively from what you've seen so far?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think we're well prepared.
Where does that responsibility fall more so when they're going tempo and you guys are getting calls? And is it more the mic? Is it safety?
Well, the safeties and the Mike linebacker
Yeah.
kind of make the call, but everybody, at this point, everybody must know what's going on and get lined up and play ball. And sometimes you just got to line up and play fast, because they're playing as fast as you are. And sometimes you make as many mistakes offensively and defensively just because you go so fast that, oh crap, I didn't see this or that, right? It happens on both sides of the ball. So hopefully more on their side than our side.
John Patrician told us that Ryan Manalek has done a great job as far as helping him, and he feels like he's progressed with him. What have you seen of Ryan's impact on the linebacker room? I know it's he hasn't even been here a year yet, but still.
Well, I think he gives them great presence being a former linebacker in this defense. So not only is he a guy who's coached the linebackers and played linebacker, but he's played it in this defense. So he's got a lot of tips that can help those guys that, arguably make them better.
You had a couple of your freshmen involved, Kai Johnson, P.J. O'Brien. What did you see from those guys?
I thought both guys went out there and they got their feet wet also. They said it wasn't as fast as I thought, as they thought it would be. And I said, well, wait till this week. But, I think they went out there and played pretty relaxed and played pretty well. I was impressed.
Randy, over your career, have you ever had interactions with Coach Major, with Johnny Majors?
The only time I have had interaction is when I got here. I met he and his wife here in the office, and it was a great experience. It was up there with Dan Marino and Jimbo Covert and all the other greats that come walking in this door. It's for all of us. It's a great thrill.
Is he a guy you looked at when you were younger?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, for sure. Winning the national championship and being 2 hours from here, I obviously knew exactly what was going on. So, yeah, he's been an idol my whole life.